guys, welcome back. Sacha Atherton here. Thanks for joining me again for episode 7 of How I Turn My Pain into Passion. This episode is called Daddy Debt. I need to just start, guys, by apologising for the state of me right now. I've been quite ill this week and I'm starting to feel a bit better, but just not looking it yet. As I mentioned in the last episode, when we spoke about finding out that somebody else was my dad, and he was aware that I wasn't trying to build a relationship with him, but I was keen for Jaya to have one because Jaya deserved to have her granddad. So it took a bit of a strange turn. So he wanted to be quite full on. And at the time I was living in that flat, which, as you know, was a godsend to me in the early days, but having a 1-year-old that was walking in such a small space, should I say, was tricky. It was hard. So I was on the council list. You guys probably know what it's like when you're on the council list. Took forever, was getting nowhere. And he suggested that I buy a house. Now, I always thought I'd buy a house, but I thought it would be with somebody. But he pushed it, and he was like, it's the right time to buy. I didn't know anything about mortgages or buying houses or anything, but he insisted it was the right thing to do. A couple of my friends at the time were just saying to me, he seemed really genuine, so I can't really blame them for that. But they were just saying, Sacha, you deserve it. Let him help you. It's not a bad thing. You've gone all these years doing everything for yourself. Let him help you. He says he's going to help you with the deposit. Let him do it. So after a few weeks, I decided to agree to go and view some houses. Went and had a look at a few, and then saw the one that I live in now. And then the first kind of sign of things taking a significant turn was when it was time to pay the deposit. So something happened in his life, and he said that he had cash flow problems. So could I go and get a loan or something, pay it, and he will give me the money back? So I did. Paid this deposit, and with any money that I had, any savings, and also credit and stuff like that. And then he said, I'll come and stay with you for a couple of weeks and help towards the bills whilst you're finding your feet. Having a mortgage it can be tough when you just bought a house for the first time. So I was like, okay. So I was a bit uncomfortable with it, but I thought, okay, let's do it. So I bought the house, and it's quite hard to explain, especially in such a short period of time, but just some of the things he did, I just didn't agree with. It just weren't me. There was one incident where I think I was cooking. Remember Jay's only one at this point, and he was watching Jay or playing with Jay in the playroom, and then after a bit I heard her doing something, and I've gone out and she was by herself, and he just decided to go upstairs to bed. So there were just small things like that where it was just, the friction started building. But as I said, he was working away, and a lot of the time he wasn't even staying at mine. So I think actually in total he must have only stayed not even more than a week. So then the money thing kept coming up. At that point I was still working. Just sold my car because he gave me a car, a really nice car actually. So he had quite a good job, and wasn't short of money, it seemed. Gave me a car, said I could sell mine. I sold my car, and I used the money to go to book a holiday because as you can imagine, I'd had a pretty tough year. So I was going to go on my first holiday since having Jaya. So I booked this holiday to Mexico, Cancun, which he knew about, and, you know, still, okay, the money, and it didn't come. And then I'm due to go on holiday, and I don't have my spending money. And I've got all these bills, these crazy bills, you know, that I've got to pay now that I've got a mortgage. And he starts saying about things like, you're all inclusive, so what do you need the money for? So I was just like, he's just not actually serious. I can't actually believe this is what he's saying. Then he starts saying, all you ever talk to me about is money. So obviously you can imagine, yeah, I wasn't having it. So we started arguing about that. He didn't come back after that. And then he wasn't there for a while, and we argued either via text or whatever. And then he said he was coming to get his stuff. We arranged for his brother to come with him to get his stuff. I just didn't even stay in the house. I didn't want to be in the house with him. And then when I came back, realised that he'd actually taken some of my stuff. So in hindsight, I probably should have stayed. And then it got worse. So then I'm running out of time again. So I think I'm going to have to cut off here and do another episode. But let's just say that was just the start of his impact on my life. Not exactly the outcome that you expected, right? So make sure you catch me in episode 8, and I will see you soon. All the way, keep it all